Hey there, it's good to have you back. I've been waiting for this quiet moment, just you and me beneath the same wide sky. Right now, as your breath slows and your body sinks into the bed, you're floating through a universe far stranger and more beautiful than any dream. Stars are whispering in the dark, planets are turning in silence, and secrets are drifting between the galaxies, just waiting to be heard. So go ahead, settle in. Let your arms relax at your sides, let your eyelids grow soft. Take a breath in deep and slow, and let it slip away like a leaf on a quiet stream. And when you're ready, let's begin. Tonight I'll take you on a gentle journey through some of the most quietly astonishing truths the cosmos has to offer. Just one fact at a time, like stars appearing in the twilight sky. It doesn't matter if you stay awake for all of them or just a few. If nights like these help you unwind, subscribe and I'll be here whenever you need me. Now let's begin. Deep within the swirling blue-green depths of Neptune and Uranus, something magical is happening right now. Immense pressure, so great it's almost beyond imagining, squeezes carbon atoms together until they lock into shimmering, perfect lattices. Diamonds. Not rare treasures locked in vaults, but countless crystals forming in the dark, drifting downward like slow snowflakes through layers of gas and mist. Some scientists believe these diamonds eventually gather far below, melting into vast, quiet seas of liquid carbon, glowing faintly in the planet's hidden heart. Imagine an ocean of liquid diamonds, silently swirling in the deep, beneath skies of stormy ice. Just beyond our galaxy, our Milky Way glides through an even grander neighborhood. It's called Laniakea, a Hawaiian word that means immense heaven. This delicate name wraps around a structure so vast, it takes light 100 million years to cross it. Over 100,000 galaxies, all caught in a slow cosmic dance guided by invisible threads of dark matter and glowing dust. And we are drifting with them. Our entire galaxy, our sun, our tiny blue world, caught in a quiet current moving together toward the heart of this serene, star-filled web. No rush. No noise. Just the gentle pull of something far greater than we can see. Up above on the quiet face of the moon, footprints remain. Soft impressions left by human boots in the fine, powdery dust, still perfectly shaped, still untouched. There is no wind to smooth them, no rain to wash them away, no breath of air to disturb their silence. They rest there now as they have for over 50 years and will for millions more. Little monuments to curiosity, to courage, to that moment when we stepped beyond Earth and left our mark on another world. All under the same stars you see tonight, watching over them, softly shining. And deep in the center of our galaxy, in a cloud of dust and gas called Sagittarius B2, something wonderfully sweet drifts through the dark. Millions of billions of liters of a molecule known as ethylformate, floating like cosmic perfume. It's the same scent that lingers on your fingers after picking a ripe raspberry, the same warmth that rises from a glass of aged rum on a winter night. So somewhere, in the cold silence between the stars, the universe has made something that, on Earth, we would call flavor, would call joy. A gentle reminder that even in the vast empty stretches of space there is sweetness. On Mars, beneath a rose-colored sky, sleeps the largest volcano in the solar system. Olympus Mons, so tall that its peak would rise above Earth's atmosphere, so wide that its base could cover the entire state of Arizona. But its slopes are so gradual, so softly curved, that if you stood at its center, you wouldn't even see the edges. They'd vanish beyond the horizon, like the rim of the world itself. It was built not in violence, but in patience. Slow rivers of lava flowing quietly across the surface, cooling in the dim red light, adding layer upon layer over millions of years. Now it rests a quiet giant, watching the stars turn above the stillness of a forgotten age, drifting through the silent, star-speckled dark. A small golden record turns slowly in the cold. No engine hums, no light flashes, only the quiet hum of ancient circuits fading with distance. Voyager 1 carries more than instruments, it carries a lullaby from Earth. Etched into copper, sealed in gold, are whispers of our world. The soft thump of a human heart, the laughter of children. Greetings spoken in 55 voices, each one a gentle hello to the unknown. From Bach's cello to Chuck Berry's guitar, music floats across time. It is not a cry for attention, but a quiet hope. That somewhere, someday, in the deep velvet of space, a curious traveler might find this tiny, glowing message, and know that once on a blue world, life sang. And time is not quite what we think. It bends, it breathes, it stretches with gravity's gentle pull. High above Earth, satellites glide through weaker gravity, where time flows ever so slightly faster like a clock ticking in slow honey. Without correction, GPS would drift just a little each day. A misstep in location, a whisper of error. But engineers adjust the numbers, recalibrate the rhythms, so our maps stay true and our paths stay clear. Even in stillness, the universe is shifting, and we, in our quiet way, learn to listen and adjust. Beyond the reach of suns where light never arrives, there are planets that wander alone. No orbit ties them, no star warms their face. They drift worlds untetherbiled through the ancient silence. Some may hold secret warmth beneath thick, hazy skies, heat trapped from their birth, cradled like embers in ash. Perhaps beneath those dark clouds, something stirs, not frozen by endless night, but softly glowing. They are the forgotten children of the galaxy, floating in slow dreams through the deep. And when great stars fade, they do not always vanish. Sometimes they collapse into something impossibly dense. A sugar cube-sized piece of this star stuff could weigh as much as Everest. These are neutron stars, cosmic remnants spinning in the dark. Some pulse with regular grace like a slow, glowing heartbeat. Their beams sweep past space like lighthouse rays, not loud, not violent, but steady, a rhythm older than mountains. We listen not with ears but with antennas, and find in their pulses a kind of cosmic calm. Far away, 5,000 light-years from our small blue world, a nebula breathes out like frost on a winter morning. The Boomerang Nebula, a fragile spiral of expanding gas, cooling itself below even the cold of empty space. It is colder than the whisper of the Big Bang's afterglow, colder than any place we know. A frozen flower blooming in silence. Its pale light glows faintly like breath on glass, a delicate cloud exhaling, drifting, fading. A quiet echo of creation and of endings, deep within the swirling blue depths of Neptune and Uranus. A quiet transformation unfolds. Under pressures beyond our imagining, carbon atoms are gently pressed together, until they lock into perfect, shimmering lattices. Diamonds, tiny, delicate, and pure, begin to form, not as treasures but as something far more serene and natural wonder. These crystalline specks drift slowly downward, like snowflakes in a still ocean. Through layers of dense, fluid ice and gas, they fall weightless, unhurried. And somewhere deep beneath those storm-racked clouds, a soft, glittering layer quietly gathers, a rainfall not of water, but of light held in stillness. And far above, in the great silence of space, two pieces of metal can become one. Not with fire or force, but with quiet simplicity. In the absence of air, there is no tarnish, no barrier, no invisible skin to keep atoms apart. When they meet, they believe they are the same object. They bond smoothly, seamlessly, as if by gentle instinct. It's called cold welding, a quiet joining in the dark. A hidden intimacy between fragments, floating side by side. Now imagine a small, golden disk, riding the stillness between the stars. Voyager 1 carries it, drifting through endless night, etched with whispers of Earth, greetings in 55 voices, the laughter of a child, a horse's soft breath, the rustle of wind through trees. All of it, encoded in gentle grooves, waiting, not for a listener now, but perhaps someday. A message in a bottle, floating in a cosmic sea. Far away, even colder still, the Boomerang Nebula breathes out, a mist so frigid it stills the dance of molecules. At -458 degrees. Even the faint warmth of the universe's first light is outdone. Gas expands slowly, like a sigh in slow motion, cooling further as it stretches into nothing. A place so calm, so still, it feels like the universe holding its breath. And beyond even that, in the distant glow of ancient light, a sea of vapor drifts around a quasar's radiance, water enough to fill oceans beyond counting, 140 trillion times the waters of Earth. A quiet reservoir, suspended in the cradle of deep time. Not falling, not rushing, just being. As if the cosmos, in its quietest corner, had saved a drop for remembering. Our moon is not still. It breathes in slow motion. Over billions of years, it has been cooling, its heart growing quieter, denser. Like a grape left to dry beneath the warmth of time, it shrinks just a little more each century. This gentle collapse causes the surface to wrinkle. Tiny faults form, cliffs rise, and the ground shudders in soft, low rumbles, moonquakes. They ripple through the silent stone, echoing, lingering, sometimes for more than an hour. A quiet song of contraction, hummed in the dark. The moon is aging peacefully, slowly folding inward like a hand at rest, and when astronauts return from floating above our world, they bring back more than memories. Their suits carry whispers of space itself. A scent clings to the fabric, metallic, warm like the memory of seared iron after a summer storm. Some say it smells like charred meat, others like distant welding sparks on a quiet evening. Scientists believe it's the residue of long-dead stars, molecules shaped in stellar winds drifting through eons. Now resting, just for a moment, on human hands, Venus turns. But so slowly, one full spin takes longer than it takes to orbit the Sun. 243 Earth days to complete a day, while its year slips by in 225. Time flows backward there by our measure. The sun would rise in the west, drag across a golden sky, and set in the east, all beneath clouds like ancient silk, glowing in perpetual twilight. 33 light-years away, a world named Gliese 436b floats in quiet mystery. There water does not flow nor boil nor freeze as we know it. Under crushing gravity it becomes ice-10 dense, warm, crystalline, solid despite the heat. Above it, steam drifts like a dream, a hazy shroud. A planet where ice burns and oceans never splash, and far beyond in the black velvet between stars. Millions, perhaps billions of rogue planets drift. No sun warms them, no seasons mark their years. They glide through the galaxy like leaves on a silent river, lit only by the soft glow of distant starlight. Born in chaos, now at peace, each one a lonely traveler in the deep. Still floating with me, or has the quiet pulled you under? Either way, the universe keeps unfolding. If you're still awake, a gentle light helps others find this calm. We'll keep drifting together among wonders, softly now, drifting, floating. Saturn's rings shimmer in the dim light of a distant sun. They stretch wider than anything we can truly imagine, 175,000 miles of delicate ice and dust. But they are not eternal. Tiny particles slowly peel away, pulled by gravity's quiet whisper, falling like a hush of frost into the planet's heart. One day, far, far ahead, these rings will be gone, leaving only memory, etched in starlight. Pause, and in the deep center of our galaxy, where stars gather like embers in a vast hearth, floats a quiet cloud named Sagittarius B2. It holds within it oceans of a gentle scent, ethyl formate, the very same that makes raspberries sweet and rum warm on the breath. Imagine if you could float there, in that stillness. You might smell the galaxy baking like bread in a cosmic oven, warm, soft, silent. Pause. Beneath the blue skin of Neptune and Uranus, where pressure builds like a slow breath, methane transforms, not into gas, not into wind, but into diamonds. They form in darkness, deep below the clouds, and fall, not quickly, but with grace like snow made of light. For billions of years, this jewel rain has drifted downward, toward cores no eye has ever seen. Pause. Farther still, in the constellation of Centaurus, lies a place of perfect cold. The Boomerang Nebula, so still, so quiet, at -458 degrees. It is colder than the afterglow of creation itself. Even the universe's oldest warmth, its faint background hum, cannot reach here. It exists untouched, unchanging, a breath held across time. Pause, and beyond the reach of stars, through endless dark, wander worlds with no sun. Rogue planets, they're called, nameless, drifting, wrapped in ice that shines only with their own faint glow. They move without sound, without destination. Alone, yet not lonely. Perhaps there are more of them than stars. They sail the great black sea, like forgotten ships, carrying secrets no one will ever hear. Drift now softly, into the quiet between stars, far out in the silent dark, where stars drift like distant dreams. Space is not as empty as it seems. Though no air flows between the worlds, NASA's Voyager probes, launched long ago in 1977, have listened and heard something soft. A quiet hum, a whisper of electromagnetic waves, vibrations in the thin plasma of interstellar space. When gently translated into sound, they bloom into ambient tones, like wind gliding through an ancient forest, leaves rustling in slow, rhythmic breath. It's not music, not quite, but a lullaby written by the universe itself, a quiet pulse beneath all things. Beyond the edge of planets and comets we know, beyond even the reach of sunlight's faintest glow, there exists a quiet halo of ice and dust. The Oort cloud, a gentle sphere of frozen memory, wrapped around our solar system like a slow breath. Trillions of comets rest there, ancient travelers drifting in orbits so long they take millions of years to complete one turn. No rush, no urgency, only peace in the deep cold, a frozen garden at the edge of home. It does not guard, it does not warn. It simply is, a soft boundary between us and the vast unknown. On Mars, under a pale pink sky, a giant sleeps, Olympus Mons, a volcano taller than any mountain on Earth, so tall it scrapes the edge of space, 16 miles high, yet its slopes rise so gently, you could stand at its center and see no peak, no edge, only plains that fade into haze. The horizon bends away, and the mountain stretches beyond sight, like a quiet thought that never ends. It has not stirred in 25 million years, just rests beneath the slow dance of Phobos and Deimos. Two tiny moons that glide like silver dust. And far, so far that light takes 12 billion years to reach us, a soft cloud of water drifts, not liquid, not ice, but a mist of ancient vapor, shimmering around a newborn star. It holds more water than every ocean on Earth, multiplied 140 trillion times. A single drop of that mist, if you could hold it, would taste like home. Even in the earliest days of the cosmos, the building blocks of rivers and rain were already floating like seeds waiting to land. And time does not hurry either. Near massive stars, where space-time curves like a slow wave, clocks tick just a little slower. Orbit a dense star, and years would pass like quiet breaths while decades unfold below. Even astronauts, floating above Earth in gentle silence, age a hair's breadth slower, suspended in time's soft current. We are all moving through it, not rushing, but drifting, like leaves on a calm river. And so the universe hums and waits and holds its breath. Imagine a great golden sphere spinning slowly in the dark, its rings stretching far into space, nearly 200,000 miles across, yet so thin, so fragile, like a breath of frost on a window pane, made of ice and dust, dancing in perfect balance, circling in silence, weightless, timeless. If Saturn were just a basketball, its rings would be thinner than a strand of hair, just a whisper of matter floating in the calm. Now drift with me to a quiet corner of the Centaurus constellation, where a soft glow lingers like a memory fading in the stars. The Boomerang Nebula, a cloud of ancient breath exhaled by a dying star, expanding, cooling for thousands of years, its temperature just 1 degree above absolute zero, colder than the empty space between galaxies. A place of deep stillness where even atoms move in slow motion, a frozen sanctuary wrapped in darkness. And now picture a mountain so tall it brushes the edge of space. Olympus Mons resting on the red plains of Mars. 16 miles high, 3 times the height of Everest. And yet its slopes rise so gently, like a slow wave on a still sea. If you stood at its peak, the land would curve away beneath you, the base hidden by the curve of the planet. No cliffs, no edges, just peace and silence and height. Listen as we move beyond the planets, beyond the sun's soft light, to where Voyager 1 now drifts, floating in the space between stars. In 2012, it crossed a quiet boundary and recorded not silence, but a hum, a faint vibration in the thin plasma of interstellar space, like the distant song of a hidden instrument. A soft tone playing across the years, the quiet music of the universe, always there, always singing, and deep below, a hidden world, beneath the cracked and frozen skin of Jupiter's moon Europa, an ocean vast and unseen, wrapped around the moon like a secret held close. More water than every ocean on Earth, twice as much, kept liquid by the gentle pull of Jupiter's gravity, a slow, rhythmic tug like a heartbeat in the dark. A quiet sea never touched by sunlight, never stirred by wind, just depth and stillness and time. And so we float, through rings and nebulas, past mountains and oceans, carried by the hum of space, wrapped in the calm of the unknown. The universe not loud, not frightening, but soft and deep and full of quiet wonders. Drifting further into the gentle dark, where everything simply is deep inside Neptune and Uranus. A quiet magic unfolds. Airborne carbon, carried by unseen winds, is pressed gently by layers of thick blue air. Over time, immense pressure shapes the molecules into tiny, perfect diamonds. They form in darkness, far below any surface we can touch, and then they begin to fall. Not fast, not sudden, but slowly, like snow that remembers how to drift. Each crystal sinks through the deep, soft haze, a quiet shower of starlight waiting to be born. For billions of years, this rain has continued. No sound, No rush. Just the gentle descent of diamonds, through silent skies no human will ever see, and far beyond in the quiet corners of our galaxy, the red dwarfs glow. These stars are small, but they live with such patience. They burn their fuel in whispers, not flames, so slowly that time barely notices. Some will shine for trillions of years, 10 trillion, longer than the universe has existed, and so every red dwarf ever born still burns. No star of their kind has ever died. They remain, scattered like embers across the dark, soft red eyes watching from the endless night. And between the stars, other wanderers move. Rogue planets, worlds without suns, they glide through space, unbound, wrapped in cool, perpetual twilight. No sunrise, no season, just the slow spin of forgotten spheres. Yet some may carry warmth beneath thick, hazy skies. Oceans hidden deep, kept alive by inner heat. Floating in darkness, they drift, not lost, but free. And here our own moon watches in silence. A quiet companion, still and pale. The footprints left by human steps remain. No wind to blur them, no rain to wash them away. They rest in the dust, perfectly still, as if time forgot to pass. And for millions of years they will stay, peaceful marks in an undisturbed world. Above them all, filling every direction, the oldest light, the cosmic microwave background. A glow from the beginning, a soft echo of creation, discovered in 1964 by patient ears listening to the sky. Now it flows through everything, a gentle warmth, stretched thin by time. Not bright, not bold, but always there. Like a blanket woven from memory, it drapes the universe in quiet comfort. And as you listen, the cosmos breathes with you. Deep within Neptune, and deep within Uranus, carbon is falling, not as gas, not as wind, but as diamonds. Immense pressure squeezes atoms together, slowly, patiently, into glittering crystals. They form far above the core, then begin to sink, drifting like tiny stars through thick, hazy skies. For millions of years, this quiet rain has fallen, soft, steady, unseen. A glowing layer builds around each planet's heart, a buried treasure of pure carbon light. Imagine, a storm that does not rage, but sparkles in silence. And somewhere beyond them, at the center of our galaxy, a cloud floats. Sagittarius B2, a slow-moving breath of dust and gas, drifting through the stillness. It carries a secret, a scent, faint and sweet, like crushed raspberries or aged rum in the air after dinner. Ethyl formate, a whisper of flavor among the stars. If you could pause and breathe there, you would smell summer, not heat, not noise. Just the memory of warm evenings and stillness. And farther out, past the rings of Saturn, a small moon glows. Enceladus, pale, smooth, wrapped in ice. But beneath that shell, water moves. A hidden ocean, vast, deep, warmed by the quiet pull of Saturn's tides, like Earth's deepest seas. Heat rises from cracks in the floor, where minerals bloom and chemistry dreams of life. No light touches it, no waves stir its surface, yet it holds possibility, in perfect calm. And closer still, our moon hangs, still, waiting. No wind breathes there, no rain falls, no hand erases what is left behind. The boots of explorers, their steps from long ago, remain. Pressed into soft dust, they have not faded. 50 years, a century, a million, they may stay, a quiet mark. A human breath in the dust, frozen in time. And every day while we sleep, or walk, or dream, the sky gives us gifts. Tiny stars, no bigger than specks of pollen, drift down. 60 tons of cosmic dust, falling like invisible snow. From comets that vanished, from asteroids older than oceans, they come. They land on leaves, on rooftops, on your skin. You've touched them, without knowing. Fragments of silence, from the edge of forever, now resting, in your palm. And so we drift, deeper into the hush of space where even stars can be shy. Somewhere in the vast velvet quiet of the galaxy, tiny faint glimmers pulse with a warmth softer than breath. They're called white dwarfs, distant, gentle cousins to stars like our sun. But these celestial whispers burn so cool, their surface temperature dips below that of a cup of tea, even cooler than your own skin. They don't shine like diamonds in the night, no, they breathe out a faint, drowsy glow in infrared felt more than seen. Like embers tucked beneath ash, they wander unseen, radiating only the gentlest warmth into the endless dark. And once a spacecraft named Rosetta followed a frozen wanderer through the void. It reached Comet 67P, an ancient chunk of ice and dust older than mountains. And there in the silence it heard something unexpected. A hum. A soft, rhythmic pulsing like a slow, metallic purr created as invisible particles danced with the solar wind. Scientists shifted its tone just enough so we could hear it too, and what we found was not noise but a lullaby sung by a lonely traveler drifting through the deep. Now imagine a world where time unfolds like slow honey. On Venus, the sky turns not in hours, but in months. One day, just one sunrise to sunset takes 243 Earth days. Longer than a year there because its journey around the sun finishes sooner. So there a single day stretches past its own year, a slow molten waltz beneath clouds of gold. Time doesn't race, it lingers like a sigh that never quite lets go. And some worlds have no star at all. They float freely, untethered, unclaimed. Rogue planets, homeless spheres drifting between the stars. Warm only by the memory of their birth, heated from within by ancient fading pulses of rock and pressure. No sunrise greets them, no seasons turn. Yet they move with quiet dignity through the galaxy's dark gardens. Billions may be out there, each a silent voyager wrapped in infinite night. And far 5,000 light-years from here lies a place so cold it feels like the edge of dreaming. The Boomerang Nebula, a vast pale cloud shaped like a whisper. As gas flows outward from a dying star, it expands and cools all the way down to nearly absolute zero. Negative 458 degrees, just one breath above total stillness. Here molecules slow to a crawl, motion fades, energy slips into slumber. It is the universe's deepest chill, a cathedral of cold floating in serene, luminous silence. Still here with me floating among the stars. That's all right, we're not going anywhere fast. The cosmos hums on slow and soft, like a dream that isn't ready to end. Let your breath slow and your thoughts drift like dust in moonlight. Imagine a circle of light so wide, it could stretch halfway across our solar system. Saturn's rings spin a quiet dance of ice and stone, gentle as a sigh in the dark. They shimmer for hundreds of thousands of miles, yet are thinner than a whisper. A breath, a shadow, a veil of frozen mist held in perfect balance around a giant world. So fragile, so vast, it feels as if it might dissolve in the blink of a dream. Now let your mind float further into the hush between the stars. Deep in the constellation Centaurus, a pale ghost floats unseen, unheard, untouched. The Boomerang Nebula breathes cold so deep it almost stops time itself. Minus 458 degrees, just a sliver above the coldest cold possible where all motion sleeps. Here, in this drifting cathedral of frost, the universe holds its breath and waits. And somewhere in the soft red glow of a distant sun, a quiet planet turns. Kepler 186f. Small, round, much like our own Earth, cradled in the light of a crimson star. The sky there might shimmer with a warm, dusky hue like forever caught in twilight. If life ever stirred, it would know only gentle sunrises and long, peaceful dawns. A world dreaming in slow motion beneath a quiet red sky. Now float to Venus, where time moves like honey, slow and golden. One day, one sunrise, one long, quiet turn takes 243 Earth days to complete. It spins with such grace, such patience, that its year passes before its day. The sun there would rise in a sky of pale gold and linger as if reluctant to leave. A world that knows no hurry, where evening lasts for months and silence deepens. And far, far beyond what eyes can see, beyond memory, beyond time, water floats. Not in oceans, not in rivers, but as mist, ancient and soft, wrapped around a distant quasar. 12 billion light-years away, a cloud of vapor holds more water than we can fathom. 140 trillion times all Earth's seas drifting like a forgotten breath. A gentle reminder that even in darkness and distance, in silence, life's essence remains. The universe still dreaming, still cradling, still holding on. In 2012, Voyager 1 slipped quietly beyond the reach of our sun's breath. It floated into the hush between stars and listened. There, in the deep stillness, it heard a whisper, a faint low hum of cosmic plasma. Like a single note played on an instrument made of space itself, it drifts through the void, endless and calm. This is the quiet song of the universe playing on and on, space remembers in its own gentle way. On the moon, where no wind stirs and no rain ever falls, footprints stay as they were left. The soft gray dust still holds the shape of boots from long ago, left by quiet travelers in a forgotten moment. They stand untouched beneath a sky that never changes. Millions of years will pass, and still, those marks remain sleeping in the silence. Far from the sun's warmth, on a small moon named Enceladus, something tender happens. Beneath its icy shell, a hidden sea breathes. It sends up delicate plumes of water vapor rising into the cold dark. Sunlight catches these tiny droplets, turning them into crystals of ice that fall like slow snow. A silent storm, no beginning, no end, just peace. Beyond Neptune, beyond the known planets, floats a vast, unseen sphere. The Oort cloud, a cocoon of ancient ice left over from the birth of the sun. Trillions of frozen worlds drift there, each one turning in slow, patient loops. One orbit might take 1,000,000 years, so quiet, so still, like thoughts in a dream. They circle, not in haste, but in eternal rest. And beyond even that, beyond edges we can't see, there is a gentle warmth everywhere. The oldest light, born nearly 13.8 billion years ago, still lingers. It's called the cosmic microwave background, a soft afterglow of the universe's beginning. Not bright, not loud, just a whisper of heat wrapping the solar system like a blanket. It touches everything, everywhere, a memory glowing quietly in the dark. And so the universe hums, remembers, snows, drifts, and glows. All in silence, all in peace. And we float within it, held and so very gently asleep, deep within the constellation Centaurus. A quiet wonder drifts through the dark. The Boomerang Nebula, the coldest known place in the universe, rests just 1 degree above absolute zero. Here, in this hushed stillness, gossamer clouds of gas unfold in a slow, graceful bow tie, floating outward like breath on glass. For thousands of years, it has expanded, soft and silent, a frozen ballet in deep space. And far beyond, 40 light-years from here, a distant world circles its star. 55 Cancri E, a planet of shimmering carbon, pressed by time and heat, into a diamond the size of a world. It turns, calm and steady, a glittering jewel, spinning in the velvet quiet. No one walks its surface, no eyes have seen it, yet it exists, beautiful, alone, and glowing with inner fire. Closer still, near the heart of our own galaxy, a great cloud floats, soft and unseen. Sagittarius B2, billions of miles across, holds a gentle secret. It carries the scent of raspberries and the warmth of rum, not in bottles, but in molecules, drifting through the dark. Imagine a fragrance blooming in the endless night, where no nose has ever breathed, yet sweetness remains. And between the stars, where starlight fades, other worlds wander, rogue planets. Untethered, unseen, drift through the void, no sun warms their skies, yet deep inside, a slow, quiet heat lingers. They glide, like thoughts in sleep, through the galaxy's vast ocean, numbering in the billions, nameless, peaceful, forever on their way. And far, so far, 12 billion light-years from now, time folds back. There, around a distant quasar, a mist of water lingers. Not liquid, not ice, but vapor, soft and endless. 140 trillion oceans, floating as mist, older than stars, older than galaxies, a whisper of rain, from the dawn of time. All of it, still drifting, still waiting, in the warm hush of space. And you, listening now, are part of this quiet cosmos, held in its gentle breath, floating too. On a small, spinning stone, beneath an endless, dreaming sky. Sleep now. The universe is calm. It has always been gentle. There is a soft light everywhere in the quiet spaces between the stars. It fills the darkness, not with brightness, but with a gentle, steady warmth. This light has been traveling for over 13 billion years. A quiet whisper from the beginning of time. Faint, invisible, and always present like a lullaby sung across the cosmos. It is called the cosmic microwave background, the oldest light the universe has ever made, a lingering glow from when everything was new, and it wraps around us all like a blanket woven from the first morning of existence. Now imagine a star far away spinning slowly with perfect calm. Its light does not blink, but pulses like a heartbeat in the deep. These are pulsars, ancient stars with soft, sweeping beams of radio waves. They turn with such steady grace like a lighthouse on a distant, peaceful shore, guiding nothing, yet heard by those who listen with quiet minds. Some have kept this rhythm for millions of years, never rushing, never faltering, just turning like a metronome set by the universe itself, a soft, steady pulse in the vast silence. And high above the plane of the sky, 2 great rivers of stars are drifting. The Milky Way and Andromeda. Drawn together by a pulse so gentle, it takes 4 billion years to meet. No collision, no chaos, just a slow, graceful merging, like 2 streams flowing into one, their stars passing like dreamers in the night, not touching, but becoming part of the same quiet story. And on Saturn, at the very top where the sky turns still, there is a shape made of clouds, a perfect hexagon, golden vast, stretching wider than Earth itself. It turns slowly like a clock wound at the birth of time. Discovered long ago yet still unexplained, a mystery wrapped in wind, spinning in peace above the rings. Far beyond them all, beyond Pluto, beyond the comet's paths, there is a shell of ice and silence, the Oort cloud, a sphere of frozen fragments as old as the sun, trillions of tiny worlds drifting in slow, wide circles, some taking thousands of years to complete one journey. They do not rush, they simply remember, holding the cold, quiet dust of our beginnings. A gentle boundary not of walls but of memory, a hushed cradle at the edge of home, and all of it, the glow, the pulses, the dance, the shape, the ice exists in a vast quiet balance, moving, breathing, waiting, in the deep soft dark where everything is slow, and everything is held in peace. Deep in Centaurus, the Boomerang Nebula drifts a faint, ghostly whisper of gas expanding slowly, so cold, -458 degrees, colder than the dark between stars, colder than time's first breath. A quiet place, vast, still frozen in space's gentle embrace. Pause. The moon holds memories, soft dust untouched for millions of years, where Apollo footsteps rest perfectly preserved. No wind, no rain, no sound, just silence wrapping each delicate ridge, a human mark floating in time, warm under starlight, yet so far from warmth. Pause. Inside Neptune, deep beneath blue skies, carbon sinks slowly, quietly pressed by eons of gentle weight turning into diamond, not in fire but in deep, cool pressure, a rain of glittering stones drifting downward through dark, slow oceans, a hush of falling light. Pause. Venus turns so slowly, one day 243 Earth turns longer than its journey around the sun, sunrise to sunrise, a slow waltz in dusk and dawn, the sky glowing softly for months then years, a sunset that lasts like a breath held in peace. Pause. In the Eagle Nebula, 7,000 light-years away, great pillars rise, towers of dust and cold gas. Tall, silent within them, stars are born, not with fire but with gravity's gentle pull, tiny sparks gathering, glowing faintly, new suns waking, softly, in the cradle of the cosmos, dreaming light into being, soft, deep, quiet. Imagine a small moon wrapped in silence. Enceladus floating in the dark. Beneath its cracked shell an ocean sleeps, warm, hidden, ancient. From its depths a whisper of vapor rises. It floats upward, slow, weightless, then freezes into the finest snow, a hush of white dust falling like breath, still pure, peaceful, and far beyond, past the edge of our sun's glow, a small craft drifts, Voyager 1, carrying a golden record. Like a lullaby wrapped in metal, voices murmur in 55 gentle tones. A child says hello, waves lap on a shore. A cello sings, and beneath it all, a slow, warm pulse, the heartbeat of Earth resting. Now close your eyes, drift through the great spiral arm. Near the center, where a cloud hangs vast, Sagittarius B2, dust and gas turning slowly, and floating within, molecules shaped like memories, the taste of ripened raspberries, the soft warmth of rum on winter air, all drifting in deep space, like a dream the galaxy forgot, and everywhere, even in the dark between your fingers, there is light. So faint you can't see it, but it's there, a glow older than stars. The cosmic microwave background, a sigh from the beginning. Warm, deep, still, it bathes you now, as you lie there, so quiet. And farther out, beyond all lights, worlds without names, rogue planets, no sun to call home. They glide, through endless night, lit only by the far-off shimmer of distant suns, like embers in a blanket of velvet. Alone but not lonely, just drifting, breathing, dreaming, soft, warm, deep, still, soft, still, floating. Saturn's rings shimmer, ancient ice, gently turning, each fragment, a whisper of frozen time, dust to mountains, all adrift. Sunlight, so far away, touches them with a pale, quiet glow. They hang in the deep, cold, silent, forever circling. And beyond, far between the stars, a faint warmth lingers, the universe's oldest light, a breath from the beginning, the cosmic microwave background, so gentle. Just 2.7 degrees above stillness. It fills the dark spaces, a soft hum of energy, unseen, but always there, wrapping all things in a quiet embrace. Now, deep within Neptune and Uranus, where the air grows heavy, where pressure builds, Carbon shifts, slowly, into diamonds, tiny crystals forming in the dark, falling, like snow, through endless quiet, down, into the warmth below, no sound, just the drift of precious light. Further out, in the still of deep space, the Boomerang Nebula cools to just 1 degree above absolute zero, the coldest natural breath in existence, minus 458 degrees, gas expands, slowly, releasing its heat into the void, shaping a soft, glowing hourglass. Quietly becoming nothing and everything. And there, within the Eagle Nebula, the pillars of creation rise, cool, tall columns made of dust and shadow. Trillions of miles high, inside, tiny specks gather, so slowly. Over ages, matter pulls to matter, and new stars begin, not with fire, but with stillness, with patience, light, forming in the hush of deep time, everything so vast, so soft, so gently moving toward rest, warm ice, silent diamonds, ancient light, cold glowing breath, starless clouds, becoming light, and you are drifting among them, safe, held, quiet, the universe breathes with you, deep, slow, peaceful, soft, gray, dust, like a whisper left behind, on the moon's quiet surface, ancient powder, warm under light, yet cold to touch. The astronaut said it smelled of old fire, of stillness after flame, like gunpowder after the world goes quiet, their boots pressed deep in 1969. And still, the prints remain unchanged, unbreathed, unforgotten. No wind to stir them, no rain to wash them, only time moving slow over silent ground. Beyond, far out and dark, a distant world floats. Kepler 22b, a blue sphere wrapped in haze, entirely water. A deep, soft sea. No shore, no edge, only waves that roll in endless circle under alien stars. The ocean breathes, a gentle hush, warm beneath soft light, no land to break it, no storm to wake it, just water and depth and stillness and closer, near Jupiter's swirl, deep voices hum, not sound, but waves unseen, charged particles drifting through vast magnetic halls, like breath in a cavern, low, rhythmic. NASA's probes heard them and turned them to sound, a slow surf, rolling through silence, not crashing, just sighing, in the dark, a lullaby of space, ancient, calm, unhurried, and we move, always moving, our sun and all the planets, drifting, in great curve, around the heart of the galaxy, one turn. Every 230 million years, slow, as mountains dream, when we last passed here. The Earth was young, green forest rising, and first dinosaurs took steps on soft ground. Now we drift again. Through the same quiet, in slow cosmic orbit. Above it all, the space station turns, gentle in sunlight, and there on metal rails tardigrades sleep, tiny, folded in time, no air, no warmth. Yet they wait, in deep pause, in perfect still, life holding on without breath, without motion. Like seeds in snow, they drift, in the vast night, between stars, so small, so strong, and maybe somewhere, on a far blue world, or near a quiet moon, another soft step will fall and stay. Forever, in dust. Saturn's rings are not solid, but a swirling dream of ice, each fragment a memory of ancient comets long gone. They glide in perfect silence through the dark, grains no larger than whispers, circling a giant. A ballet older than time, soft, cold, eternal, floating in a void that remembers nothing else, yet still holds this. Every day while we live, breathe, dream, the sky lets fall a quiet rain of stardust, too small to see, too gentle to feel. 5,200 tons each year, drifting down like forgotten thoughts, landing on leaves, rooftops, open palms, part of us before we were born, returning without fanfare, without sound, just dust from worlds that never were. Venus turns so slowly, a single day stretches longer than its year, the sun climbs 1 degree every few weeks. If you walked at a calm, even step, you could walk forever and never see night, or dawn only a soft glow on the horizon, like a breath held across centuries, a planet sleeping in its own warm light, unhurried, unaware. Deep in Neptune's sky, where pressure crushes air, carbon becomes crystal, not in mines but in the breath of the planet itself. Diamonds form not for eyes to see, but fall through endless blue, a snow that sparkles in darkness. No one to witness, no one to name it. Just beauty existing because it can, falling into the heart of cold fire, and everywhere in the space between stars. There is light, not from any sun, but from the beginning, a glow 2.7 degrees above stillness. The afterimage of creation, so faint even silence is louder. It passes through you, through me, through every sleeping child, every quiet mountain. A whisper older than matter, still speaking in a voice too soft to hear. Just warmth in the vast, just memory in the dark. The dust we walk on was once starlight. The rings we admire are fading grain by grain. Venus turns as if time doesn't matter. Diamonds fall where no hand can catch them, and the universe hums a single quiet note, from the first moment to this one. And you lying there, eyes closed, are made of the same ancient light, drifting, softly, home out beyond the golden arc of Neptune's orbit. 1,000 silent spheres glide through the dark, untethered, unnamed, each a world without a sun. Drifting through starlight so faint it trembles like breath on glass. They move like memories forgotten before they were spoken, floating weightless in the cradle of the void, and no one knows how many there are, only that they are countless, and they are not alone. Inside the deep, magnetic breath of Jupiter, an unseen song hums through the silence. Low and slow and ancient like tides pulling beneath a frozen sea. We cannot hear it with our ears, but when machines translate its pulse into sound, it sighs like wind through a canyon at dusk, or waves rolling onto a shore no foot has ever touched. A lullaby spun from force and field, playing on in the dark, where no one is listening, and yet it was always meant to be heard. Far past the last touch of sunlight, where warmth becomes a distant idea, the solar wind folds gently into the great stillness. At the heliopause, the sun whispers its final breath. Not with fire, but with a fading sigh, 10 billion miles from home, light becomes memory, and the solar cocoon opens wide, merging with the interstellar deep, an invisible threshold crossed without sound, without witness, without end. Our galaxy is not alone in its journey. It rides a current in the dark, part of a river of light called Laniakea, a structure so vast it takes 100 million years to cross. 100,000 galaxies drift like dust in a sunbeam, flowing toward a gravitational heart we cannot see. They move as one in silence, in slow grace, a feather falling through an unseen sky, and we are riding that feather, held in the arms of immensity. Without knowing we are moving at all, when you look up and see that soft glow between the stars, you are seeing light that began its journey before your ancestors walked. Photon by photon, they cross the deep, frail as breath, determined as fate. They slip through the cold, through the empty, bouncing off nothing, aimed at nothing, until they land, in the quiet pool of your eyes, and in that moment, the universe remembers itself. And with that, we've wandered through 100 quiet wonders. Your mind has traced the edges of invisible worlds. And now it's time to let go. If this night of stars and silence helped you drift away, maybe leave a like, a small thank you to the dark, and subscribe, and I'll be here whenever you need a voice to walk you home. Good night, and remember, you've seen galaxies tonight, and still your breath remains soft, your body heavy, your heart at peace. Rest now, everything is exactly as it should be.